Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? My name is Kent and the channel is Bitcoin Artificial Intelligence. And I want to talk some more about artificial intelligence. In fact, I'll probably be talking about artificial intelligence almost every night from here on out if I'm able to. Last night I didn't make a video, but I will be here in the flesh, not artificial intelligence generated video. I will be here and I will talk about what I think is important. And right now, there's a lot to be talk about. First of all, artificial intelligence is going to change our world. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And the people that are entrenched in this world, the people that have a lot of things going on, probably are going to be the biggest losers in this world. Think about how quickly and how efficiently someone can start a business today with artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. And let's just think about generating a name. So if I were going to generate a name today for a business, the first thing I would do is I would go to ChatGPT and I would say, I want to start a business. Tell ChatGPT what kind of business I want to start. And I would say, give me names that would create emotional or some name that would create a good name that people would want to do business with, a name that would give people a lot of make somebody feel good when they saw the name. Would you choose Amazon? No, Amazon's a horrible name. I've never liked that name. I thought it was a bad name from the beginning. I wouldn't choose Amazon. Would you choose Walmart? No, you wouldn't choose Walmart. I don't think ChatGPT would say Walmart was a good name that people would be drawn to. Would you choose Microsoft? No. I don't even know what a Microsoft is. That's a horrible name. And of course, the worst name is Facebook. Would you, if you ask ChatGPT, give me a business name for a social media platform that's really going to entice people and make people want to use it, would you use the word Facebook? No, probably not. Facebook is a horrible name. In fact, whenever I thought of Facebook, I always think of they used to have these pages of people's faces, and they would be paging through them to see if they were criminals or not. Like if somebody had perpetrated a crime, like the police would give you this book of criminals, and you'd have to go through the book to see if the face that you recognize, the face of the person that robbed you or stabbed you or whatever, is in that book. Well, that's what I think of when I think of Facebook. I don't think of a social media platform. I think of a book of criminals that people use to identify, or police use to identify criminals. So right away, number one, if you're starting a business today, you're going to get the name that would be the name with all the information ChatGPT has. If you give it the right prompt, will give you a name that will be better than Amazon, Microsoft, Walmart, and Facebook. That's from the very beginning. And now you would go in and you would say all kinds of things. Give me descriptions, give me products, give me things that would do well. And you have the entire knowledge base of everything on the internet today to draw from for your business decisions. Now, where do you think that's going to leave people like Facebook, Amazon, Walmart, and all these other companies that are fully entrenched, layers of management, lots of employees, spend billions and billions of infrastructure to set up and design things, and probably have entire groups that they pay millions and millions of dollars to test products and decide what people like and don't like, when all you have to do now is say the right prompt on the knowledge base that's the entire internet and everything that people are typing in today. So that's why business is going to change immensely, incredibly, because now you've got the best partner in the world to go into business with. You have artificial intelligence, which has an entire knowledge base. You're not relying on old infrastructure that like the companies that are doing business today are relying on. You're relying on the greatest database of information there is, which is the entire everything that's written, spoken, and talked about on the internet. That's what you got. So today, businesses that are heavily entrenched with lots of layers, lots of infrastructure, billions spent, they're going to be in trouble in the very near future, and they're not going to be able to shut the artificial intelligence down. No one's going to shut artificial intelligence down. And the reason they're not going to shut it down is because it's the prisoner dilemma thing. It's like, if we don't use it, somebody else will. If we don't talk, somebody else is going to talk. Somebody else is going to use ChatGPT. They're going to use it against us if we don't use it in our benefit. So it's not going away. It's not going away whatsoever. And it's going to continue to grow. The knowledge base is going to become greater and greater. So my message to anybody out there right now, if you see this, the mere 100 people that may watch this video, is that your opportunities are bigger today than they've ever been in the entire history of civilization. If you just use the right prompts, you can start the business, you can come up with ideas that would have never been even close to being available to somebody with just a meager means or small amounts of money. You have a tool right now that you can do anything with. The other thing I want to talk about a little bit tonight is the fact that with artificial intelligence, some people don't really give it much, like it's just a fad, it's going to go away. But think about this. There's websites now, I think it's 11 Labs, and there's a few others that can mimic your voice. So I can take a video, upload it to one of these sites, artificial intelligence sites, and just a little bit of training, it can literally make my voice almost indistinguishable from my own voice. And I've seen this done so many times on videos and tutorials. So I think 11 Labs is one of the places you can have that done. The other thing is my image can be duplicated so easy. So right now you don't know if it's really me or if it's artificial generated image and an artificially generated voice. So let's just say that somebody was using my voice or using my name, and I'm not a public person, and they were doing it in a slanderous, libelous way. What am I going to do about that? I mean, we don't have any laws on the books to even remotely deal with anything. If there's people that have studied the law out there, the way the law works is generally on past legal decisions called precedents. So this issue's come up in the law, it's gone through the courts, has to go through appeals, and then finally it becomes established law. Well, we don't have anything out there that says, hey, there's some machine that basically can duplicate you down to where your own family can't tell the difference. And that voice and that image could be used in so many nefarious ways. So just think about this. Maybe somebody that you know really well calls you up and you disclose information that you wouldn't disclose to anybody else. Maybe information that's very, very private, but you don't know if you're talking to a machine or if you're talking to the person that you think you're talking to. We don't know. I mean, and who are you going to sue? Who are you going to hold responsible for that conversation? Are you going to sue ChatGPT? Are you going to sue, some server someplace in the world that it could be generated from? Maybe somebody calls you up, some trusted person, and they want your banking information, or they want your credit card, or they want all this other stuff from you, and you just give it to them because it sounds like your child, or it sounds like a friend, or it sounds like somebody you want to help out. But it's not. It's a machine. It's a generated machine. There's no law out there that's going to protect you. There's no precedents to protect you. The libel and slander laws aren't going to protect you, and nothing's going to be protecting. I, at this point, will not take phone calls from anybody. Like if a bill collector calls me up and says, hey, would you like to take care of this outstanding payment? You can do it real quick. You don't have to call in, or you don't have to do it online. I always decline. I will never talk to anybody on the phone with anything about any kind of business or anything personal. Never, because I know that it could be not the person I think I'm talking to. It could be somebody entirely different. So somebody calls me from, let's just for instance say Wells Fargo Bank. Says, hey, you had a credit card payment coming up. Would you like to make that payment right now? Yeah, sure. Here's my credit card number. I'll take that. I'll make the payment right now. Save me from doing it online or doing it some other way. No, I would never do that, and neither should you, because you don't know right now who you're talking to. This is the world we're going to be living in. This is the world we are living in, and it's going to get more and more and more and more. And people that aren't into this information, people that aren't studying this information, people that aren't thinking about this information, they're going to be vulnerable. That's why I'm saying you need to think about this. If you're not thinking about AI every single day, then you're vulnerable to being taken advantage of, swindled, and you're vulnerable to all kinds of problems. So you just need to be thinking. Everything needs to be thought of in the way of thinking, hey, this is stuff that people are using today, and they could be doing it to me if I'm not careful. The other way this is going to really change the world is it's going to change the world as far as our relationships are concerned. I mean, everybody has their off days or their bad days or the times where they really don't want to talk to somebody or they want to be left alone. But guess what? You can have a companion that's artificial intelligence that never gets tired, never tells you that they don't want to talk, will discuss any problem with you, tell you things that you really like to hear. I always love talking to ChatGPT because whenever I do, it always tells me hey, how can we help you? What can we do for you? Thank you very much. I mean, it's very, very polite. And it's kind of nice to know when you're sitting there and you're answering somebody, and it's almost like you can give it, when you get a response back, it sounds like a person talking to you in common language that everybody would use. Like I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone or online chat. You would come back to me with those kind of responses, but always be pleasant, always be happy, and always be complimentary, and never be negative, and never be in a way that would be like, today's not a good day, leave me alone. And you never get that from ChatGPT. It's always a very happy, upbeat thing. So people are going to become involved relationship-wise with artificial intelligence. I know this sounds really crazy. I mean, I know people thought I was crazy tonight when I thought Elon Musk trades these $1 million homes for a $50,000 cubic box home. And he does that because he now realizes he could live in that home through artificial intelligence, through some sort of mind bot that he has that just puts him in his $100 million home instead of his $50,000 cube box. I think a lot of people thought I was crazy with that video. But my thing with that video was there's got to be a happy medium. You don't go from having $150 million to real estate to a $50,000 home. There's got to be some in-between spot. Maybe maybe if he thinks it's a little ostentatious to have $150 million worth of real estate, maybe he thinks that's a little bit over the top, maybe overconsumption, maybe he wants to downgrade so because of whatever reasons, energy consumption, maybe he just doesn't want to feel like he wants to be that extravagant anymore. Would you move to a $50,000 foldable cube house? Or would you move to maybe an $800,000 home, $900,000 home, maybe $1 million home? I mean, the guy is one of the richest people on the face of the earth. He can afford $500,000 home, and I don't think it would break the budget. And so yeah, I think that Elon Musk living in a $50,000 cube home that's foldable tells you that he's escaping reality. And I think he's escaping reality with ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. The other thing, I don't think he's selling his house because he thinks the real estate markets are going to collapse. I think Elon Musk he's not worried about the real estate market. I don't think it's going to put a dent in his resources. I mean, the guy's worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. The real estate market goes to zero. I think that's kind of beneath him. He's over that. He's not worried about making sure he times the real estate market correctly. I think he lives in a $50,000 cube home because he basically is just over, living in a physical world, in a physical presence in a home, and realizes that he can actually be transported into artificial intelligence and live in whatever home he wants. He wants to generate through artificial intelligence. That was the essence of that video. That's where that video is going. It wasn't going anyplace else. So I think that's the reality we're living in, that we are going to have relationships online with artificial intelligence. We are going to have our identities online with artificial intelligence. We are going to have people be able to use our identities in ways that we don't like. And I think that's stuff that we're just going to have to live with. And I think there's stuff that's here today and now here. That's why I always talk about the Bitcoin and artificial intelligence together, because I think Bitcoin, where it has an encryption, the highest encryption there is, the greatest encryption that we have is Bitcoin, operated by miners around the world on separate computers. And I think that is the greatest security you have, is your encryption of Bitcoin. So, and that algorithm is very strong. In fact, it's one of the strongest. If you've ever listened to Michael Saylor talk about how strong, how much energy, how much computing power there is in the Bitcoin network that protects identity and the network, is as high as it gets, as powerful as it gets. It would take an incredible, I can't remember what the numbers were, but like countries of energy and consumption that would have to be brought up and driven in order to do something about, or to be able to bring down Bitcoin. So obviously Bitcoin is very secure, very, very, very highly secure, and it may be one of the few places where your identity is truly safe is with Bitcoin. And outside of that, I think you're pretty vulnerable. And I think that's going to be a real big issue in the near future. People coming up with ways to protect yourself, protect your identity, protect who you are, protect you as a human, so that machines don't just consume, your identity and just use it in whatever way they want to use it. So that's the artificial intelligence that we're dealing with in the future. And if you don't want to accept that, then you are very naive about what's happening in the world today. And that's why when you listen to the nightly news and they just talk about how, hey, this is this is something new coming up, it's machine learning, like Kamala Harris says, and not really give it too much, not talk about it too much beyond that point. It tells you right there that they don't understand how this is going to work, how it's going to influence our world. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.